Supermoon? Not so much. Hey there, stargazers. I'm Dean Regas, astronomer from the Cincinnati Observatory. Don't look now, but we've got another supermoon coming on August 10th.
And I'm James Albury, director of the Kika Silva Pla Planetarium in Gainesville, Florida. Don't let the
supermoon
get to you because it's not really that big a deal.
Oh, come on, James. All the TV news people go nuts about the supermoon. So it must be something really special, right?
Dean, you know as well as I do that even though there's a measurable size difference between the biggest and the smallest full moon of the year, that you can't really notice it without special measuring devices.
Hey, I have an idea. Let's tell everybody about one of the simplest, most handy measuring devices around.
Okay. Everyone already has one right at hand, but we need a really catchy term for it. Let's combine our names and call it the Reg Albury Lunicizer.
Nah, I think I prefer the Algas Moonometer.
Maybe not. After all, we're talking about using your pinky finger to see how big the supermoon is. Not.
The moon is the easiest thing to see in the night sky, but remember when you're looking at the moon, you're seeing reflected sunlight. The moon does not produce light of its own.
And the moon is not always a stargazer's friend because it can get to be so bright it wipes out most of the stars and the Milky Way.
Let's start watching the moon on the evening of August 4th and see what we can see.
And use your pinky finger to measure the apparent size of the moon. Extend your arm, stick out your pinky finger, close one eye, and then put your pinky finger over the moon. It will disappear behind your finger.
The moon will be 1 day past first quarter, so it's what we call a waxing gibbous moon. Remember, gibbous means humped, and waxing means it'll get bigger night after night.
To the moon's left is the biggest and brightest constellation of summer, Scorpius the Scorpion. These three stars mark the head of the Scorpion and follow this curving line of stars down and around to the pair of stars that mark the stinger at the end of the tail.
The next night, a slightly fatter moon will be above bright red Antares, which marks the heart of the Scorpion.
Remember to use your pinky finger to measure the moon.
Antares is one of the largest stars known, and if it were placed where our sun is, it would extend out beyond Mars. And Antares produces over 60,000 times as much energy as our sun. Whew!
The next 2 nights, the 6th and 7th, an even fatter moon will be above the stars of Sagittarius, the centaur that follows the Scorpion across the sky. But with the extra light the moon is reflecting, you'll do well to spot the teapot stars that make up just part of Sagittarius.
The next 2 nights, the 8th and the 9th, the moon will continue to get fatter.
Try your finger trick. See what happens.
The moon is now in the constellation of Capricornus.
Just barely.
And though it's not quite full now, it will probably look full to most people, but it won't really be full until 2:09 p.m. Eastern Time on the 10th. We won't get to see the moon until it rises several hours later.
So if you really want to be picky about it, the moon is past full when it rises for us in North America.
So, what makes this full moon a supposed supermoon?
Supermoon is not really an astronomical term, but refers to a moon that is full at about the same time it's especially close to the Earth.
The moon's orbit is not a perfect circle, but is really an ellipse. This means the moon gets closer to the Earth,
Perigee,
once every orbit, and farthest from the Earth,
apogee,
once every orbit. In fact, this year the moon had 2 perigees in January.
And it will have 2 more in November.
But this perigee on August 10th is only 9 minutes away from the time the moon is full. So it gives us the closest
and thus biggest full moon of 2014.
So look at the rising moon on the evening of August 10th.
And use your pinky finger to measure it. Can you tell it's a
Supermoon! Keep looking up.